Shocking. Tong Yiren caught fleeing at airport. Yumenglong's case takes shocking turn. The air in Beijing was heavy with rain that evening, but the storm that struck the nation was not in the sky. It was inside the airport terminal, where chaos unfolded before the eyes of stunned travelers and relentless reporters. Tong Yiren, once a radiant actress known for her charm, was suddenly at the center of a scandal that ripped open the wounds left by Yumenglong's death. The CCTV footage had already painted shadows around her name, but nothing could have prepared the public for the sight of her dragging a suitcase, her face shielded under a wide black hat, moving quickly toward the international departures gate. It was the image that spread like wildfire across social media. China's sweetheart caught trying to vanish when the world was demanding answers. The moment of capture. According to eyewitness accounts, Tong Yiren was mere steps away from slipping past the final checkpoint when plainclothes officers closed in on her. She looked terrified, said one traveler, a man who had been waiting to board a flight to Tokyo. She kept glancing over her shoulder. The moment the officers grabbed her, her suitcase dropped, and everything spilled, papers, envelopes, even a phone wrapped in tape. People gasped. It was like a movie scene. Passengers scrambled to record the confrontation, their phones capturing the precise moment when Yiren's disguise was ripped away. Her face, pale, trembling, eyes wide with shock, was unmistakable. Within minutes, the footage went viral, hashtags exploding across Weibo and TikTok. Hashtag Tong Yiren caught at airport. Hashtag yumenglong justice. Hashtag the mastermind unveiled. The interrogation room. Back at the city's central bureau, the actress who once commanded red carpets now sat under fluorescent lights, her makeup smeared, her hands shaking as officers slammed the suitcase onto the table. The contents spoke volumes. Letters written in haste, financial ledgers linking names to shadowy transfers, and most damning of all, a passport stamped with multiple false identities. "What were you running from, Yiren?" the investigator demanded, his voice echoing through the sterile room. Her lips quivered as she tried to speak, but no words came out. The silence was louder than any scream. When they finally pressed her again, she broke, whispering through tears. "I didn't kill him, but I know who did." Wong Iba's fury. News of her capture reached Wong Iba before dawn. He was at the courthouse, still poring over files related to Menglong's final hours, when his phone rang. "She tried to escape?" His voice cracked with disbelief. When Tan Song-yun confirmed the reports, Iba slammed his fist against the desk, his jaw tight. "So all this time, she's been smiling at cameras while burying the truth. Menglong trusted her. We all did." He insisted on seeing her. His grief had already fueled an unstoppable drive for answers, but now, the anger in his veins was hotter than fire. For Iba, Yiren's attempted escape was no coincidence. It was proof that Menglong's death was not just a tragedy, but a carefully orchestrated betrayal. The shocking confession. During her interrogation, Yiren revealed fragments of a chilling story that sent investigators reeling. "I didn't plan his death," she sobbed. "But I was told to keep quiet, to watch, to report back. They promised me protection, roles, money, things I was too weak to refuse. And when Menglong started uncovering the truth, they silenced him. I wanted to run because if I spoke, I'd be next." The room froze. When pressed for names, she hesitated, her eyes darting to the walls as if someone could hear her even there. Finally, her voice dropped to a whisper. "It's someone higher than all of us. Someone untouchable." The chilling weight of her words sent shockwaves through the bureau. The case had taken a turn darker than anyone had anticipated. This was no longer about jealousy, rivalry, or a single betrayal. This was about a network of power that stretched far beyond the entertainment industry. Public outrage erupts. As snippets of her confession leaked, the public exploded with fury. Outside the detention center, thousands gathered, holding candles for Menglong and shouting Yiren's name with venom. "How could she?" one woman sobbed into a reporter's microphone. "We loved her, but she stood there and watched while Menglong died. She betrayed all of us." On social media, fans declared a total boycott of her films and endorsements. Entire forums were flooded with heartbroken posts, comparing her angelic public image with the dark reality revealed in court. But there were others, voices drowned in the chaos, who argued that she, too, was a victim. If what she says is true, one vlogger wrote, then she was trapped, manipulated, and threatened. Don't just see her as a villain, see her as another pawn. The airport footage. Then came another twist. Authorities released extended CCTV footage from the airport, showing more than just Yiren's desperate attempt to flee. Behind her, a man in a gray hoodie was spotted shadowing her every step, keeping his distance until she was captured. When officers tried to detain him as well, he slipped into the crowd and vanished. Who was he? A handler? A watchdog? Or perhaps the very person sent to ensure she disappeared permanently? The footage raised more questions than it answered, but one thing became clear. Yiren was not acting alone. The face-off. Hours later, Wong Iba finally came face-to-face with her inside the cold interrogation room. She looked up at him with tear-streaked cheeks. Iba, you have to believe me. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this. His eyes burned with both rage and grief. Believe you? Menglong died because of your silence. He trusted you. And now you expect me to see you as a victim? Her voice cracked. If I speak the full truth, I won't live another day. They'll come for me. Iba leaned closer, his voice a whisper filled with steel. Then speak anyway. If Menglong had the courage to face them, so can you. Don't let his death be in vain. Her body trembled as she finally nodded, a look of resignation crossing her face. For the first time, she seemed ready to trade her fear for the truth. A nation holds its breath. As dawn broke, the city awoke to headlines blazing across every platform. Tong Yiren's airport arrest marks a new chapter in Yumenglong case. Confession points to powerful mastermind. Who is the man in the hoodie? Every household buzzed with speculation. Schools, offices, cafes. All were consumed by the story. It was no longer a case confined to the entertainment world. It had become a national reckoning, exposing corruption, betrayal, and the dangerous intersections of fame and power. A dangerous road ahead. With Yiren's confession on record, investigators promised to dig deeper. But behind closed doors, whispers spread that certain files were already being locked away, certain names protected from exposure. Wong Iba knew the fight was far from over. As he left the bureau that morning, the sky still gray from the storm, he clenched his fists and whispered to himself, "This isn't the end. This is just the beginning." Because now it wasn't just about finding who killed Yumenglong, it was about taking down the empire that allowed it to happen. Conclusion. Tong Yiren's dramatic airport capture has transformed Yumenglong's mysterious death from a tragic accident into a national saga of betrayal, corruption, and hidden power. Her attempted escape, her shocking confession, and the mysterious figure in the hoodie have set the stage for revelations that could shake the very foundations of the industry. For millions of fans still mourning Yumenglong, one truth now rings louder than ever: his story will not be buried. And as the world watches, one question hangs heavy in the air. If Tong Yiren was only a pawn, who is the true mastermind? The airport shock. Tong Yiren's attempted escape sends China into chaos. The footage replayed across every channel, every phone screen, every electronic billboard in the city. It wasn't just news, it was a national earthquake. Tong Yiren, the actress whose smile once adorned luxury brands and whose roles had captured the hearts of millions, was now caught in the harsh fluorescent glow of an airport terminal, her disguise torn off, her suitcase bursting open, and her secrets spilling onto the cold, tiled floor. The scene was no ordinary arrest. It was a moment frozen in history, one that would come to symbolize betrayal, fear, and the desperate lengths people go to when truth threatens to swallow them whole. The chaos at Beijing Capital Airport. Travelers that evening had no idea they were about to become unwilling witnesses to a scandal that would eclipse any drama playing on their screens. It was pandemonium, said a woman traveling with her young son. People screamed, phones went up in the air, security guards rushed in. Nobody understood what was happening at first, Then we realized it was Tong Yiren, the actress. The one everyone's been whispering about since Yumenglong's death. The boy tugged at his mother's sleeve, pointing at the officers dragging Yiren toward the ground as her wide-brimmed hat tumbled away. Cameras clicked like thunder. One passenger dropped his coffee, his hands shaking as he tried to capture the moment on video. As the suitcase burst open, papers scattered across the polished floor like confetti, catching the glint of the harsh lights. One envelope slid to the feet of a teenage fan who had grown up watching Yiren's dramas. She bent down, picked it up, and gasped at the sight of bank records inside. "My idol, how could she?" she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. By then, the chants had begun. A ripple of voices rose through the terminal, first confusion, then anger, then outright fury. "Justice for Menglong! Justice for Menglong!" Yiren's face unmasked. When the disguise was ripped away, the crowd froze. For a moment, all was silent. Her face was unmistakable, pale, exhausted, eyes darting wildly in search of escape. This wasn't the glowing celebrity from red carpets and variety shows. This was a woman stripped bare by fear, every ounce of confidence drained from her as reality closed in. Witnesses described her expression as the face of guilt itself. "She looked like she'd been running for her life," said one businessman who filmed the entire incident. "But you can't run from the truth. Not forever." The arrest scene goes viral. Within minutes, the airport was buzzing not just with passengers, but also with reporters who had raced to the scene. Videos uploaded to Weibo amassed millions of views in under an hour. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Tong Yiren airport arrest. Hashtag Menglong justice. Hashtag truth cannot be hidden. Clips showed her screaming as officers handcuffed her wrists, her suitcase kicked aside by the chaos. Some sympathized with her desperation, others called for her immediate punishment. The court of public opinion had spoken, and it was brutal. The walk of shame. As officers marched her through the airport, crowds followed, shouting accusations. Children clutched their parents' arms as adults raised their phones high, recording every step. "Where were you the night Menglong died?" a man screamed. "You watched and stayed silent," shouted another. Yiren lowered her head, tears streaking her cheeks, but the cameras caught it all. The walk from the terminal to the waiting police car became her most damning performance, one that could never be erased. Inside the police car, reporters pressed against the windows as the car pulled away. Inside, Yiren sat trembling, her wrists bound, staring at the reflection of her broken image in the glass. She whispered to herself over and over, "I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him." But those words were drowned by the roar of the crowd outside, by the storm of voices online, by the truth that everyone demanded she reveal. Interrogation under fire. At the bureau, the interrogation began immediately. Officers tossed the suitcase on the table, spilling its contents once more: documents, false passports, coded notes, and that taped phone. One officer leaned forward. "You plan to leave the country. Why?" Her lips trembled. "I was scared. If I spoke, they would come for me." "Who are they?" the officer pressed. Yiren froze. Her silence was heavy, but her eyes betrayed something more: terror. The lead investigator slammed his palm against the table. "Menglong's blood cries for justice. If you know the truth, this is your only chance to speak." She finally broke down, sobbing uncontrollably, whispering the same line she had muttered in the car. "I didn't kill him, but I know who did." Public eruption. Outside the station, thousands gathered through the night. Fans held up photos of yumenglong, candles flickering in the rain. Chants filled the streets. No more silence. "Name the killer. Justice for Menglong." The scene was unlike anything Beijing had witnessed in years, an emotional uprising sparked not by politics, but by the betrayal of trust, the murder of a beloved star, and the unraveling of secrets too heavy for the world to bear. Celebrities react. The entertainment industry itself trembled. Tan Songyun posted a single broken heart emoji, refusing to write more. Su Kai released a statement saying, "Menglong's soul cannot rest until the truth is revealed." I urged the authorities to investigate without fear. But it was Wong Iba's words that cut deepest. He stood outside the courthouse that night, facing cameras with tears in his eyes. She was supposed to be his friend. She stood beside him while the world adored them both. And yet, when he needed her voice, she chose silence. Tong Yiren, whatever you confess now, it won't bring Menglong back, but it can stop others from dying the way he did. The nation divided. As dawn broke, public opinion split sharply. Some called Yiren a coward who enabled Menglong's killers. Others argued she was a victim of a larger conspiracy. But one truth united them all. She knew something, and her attempt to flee proved her hands were not clean. The newspapers called her capture the unraveling thread. Commentators speculated that her confession could topple powerful figures who had long hidden in the shadows. And yet, many feared she would not live long enough to testify. A haunting realization. In her cell that night, Yiren couldn't sleep. Every creak of the corridor, every clang of the iron bars, made her jolt awake in terror. She remembered the man in the gray hoodie at the airport, the one shadowing her every move. She knew who sent him. She knew what message his escape carried. Whispering into the darkness, she admitted to herself the truth she had been too afraid to tell the world. They don't want me alive. Menglong was just the beginning. And now it's my turn. Conclusion. Tong Yiren's dramatic arrest at the airport wasn't just a turning point in the yumenglong case, it was the breaking of a dam. Her suitcase of secrets, her trembling confession, and the haunting image of her being dragged away in handcuffs have become symbols of both betrayal and the fragile hope that justice may finally emerge. But as the investigation deepens, one question grows louder across the nation. If she was only running out of fear, then who is the one powerful enough to make even stars tremble in silence? The airport may have been the stage of her downfall, but it was also the place where the next chapter of Menglong's story began.